I'm pro stealing from big corporations. We got to get back to cool crimes like that. Like, bank robberies, stealing priceless artifacts, chaos, full chaos. Let's go.
Multi-millionaire streamer Hasan Piker recently had an interview with the New York Times, and he basically said that he supports stealing from grocery stores because they're run by corporations and rich people. He also said bank robberies and stealing from museums are cool crimes.
Would you steal from Whole Foods?
You want to go first?
Yes.
Notice how in this clip, Hasan waits for the others to speak first. I'm guessing he was checking or gauging if his opinion was popular or acceptable first before committing to an answer.
Right, guys?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because, they steal quite a bit more from their own workers.
So basically, his argument is that because corporations steal from workers, then committing theft is somehow okay. Now, I also despise greedy corporations that mistreat their employees, like underpaying or overworking. The kind of corporations that only prioritize shareholder value over everything else, and I think they're evil. But I don't think justifying theft is the solution. Stealing is still wrong and it's a crime. Once you start saying it's okay to break the law against people you don't like, you've opened a door that doesn't really close. You end up with a society where anyone can justify any crime as long as they can paint the victim as rich enough to deserve it. On the flip side, if you look at countries with low crime rates, places like Singapore or some of the Nordic countries, the pattern is pretty consistent. They actually punish the criminals, and the punishment works as a deterrent. The reason why the crime rate is low is because the criminals or potential criminals fear the consequences, so they, end up not committing the crime. Hasan's worldview seems to be the opposite of that. Now, some people assume that the people stealing are just hungry and desperate, and only taking basic necessities like bread to feed their families. While those people do exist, unfortunately, it's also true that a lot of retail theft involves expensive items like iPhones, perfume, and designer clothes. Because if stealing goes unpunished, plenty of people will take advantage of that to make quick money. Also, before I continue, big shout out to More Pegasus for breaking this situation down in his series. Go check out his video if you haven't already.
However, one thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that the automated process that they design, these companies know will increase shrink, right? So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations regardless, and they still end up having increased profit margins because they no longer have to pay the cashiers that they used to hire as opposed to this automated system.
So according to Hasan, corporations factor theft into their budget, which apparently means stealing from them is a victimless crime. But this is not accurate. Companies do factor a baseline amount of shrink, sure, but there's a limit. Once theft crosses a certain threshold, they respond by installing lock cases, hire security guards, and eventually shut stores down entirely. In 2023, Target announced it was closing 9 stores across 4 states.
Target announced today that it's closing 9 stores in major cities next month because of theft and organized retail crime. Stores are closing in New York City, Seattle, San Francisco's Bay Area, and Portland, Oregon.
And the official reason given by Target was that theft and organized retail crime was making the stores unsafe and unsustainable to operate. And reportedly, assaults on Target employees had jumped about 120% in just the first 5 months of that year. When stores like Target, CVS, and Walgreens pull out of a neighborhood, the people who suffer are the working class residents who relied on those stores for groceries and medicine. Hasan will probably never have to deal with this issue since he lives in a wealthy Hollywood neighborhood and probably has his groceries delivered.
Yeah.
But what about the argument that if everyone just starts stealing wantonly from the self-checkout machines, Whole Foods will eventually raise the prices?
Yeah, chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look, I'm in favor of fast and free buses and also government-owned storefronts. And, 2 of those policies, the mayor of this beautiful city, is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing in the same way from a Mamdani-run city-owned grocery store with lower prices? And why?
I would not, because I feel like that's taxpayer funded, and the prices are this union labor, and the prices are also adjusted regardless.
So basically, stealing from someone he doesn't like is completely fine, but stealing from someone he likes is wrong. In the same interview, Hasan moved on from retail theft to endorsing piracy.
I'm pro piracy all the way, like across the board. Would you pirate a car? Yes. Would you steal a car? I'm sure. If I could get away with it, if it was as easy as pirating IP, I would do it.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like bank robberies, right? Stealing priceless artifacts, things of that nature.
So bank robberies, stealing cars, and historical artifacts from the Louvre are cool now, according to Hasan. The problem is that these are not victimless crimes, like you see in heist movies. Stealing from a museum like the Louvre means destroying culture and history that belongs to everyone. Bank robberies in real life will most likely involve innocent people getting hurt or killed. But Hasan can sit in his Hollywood mansion and call this stuff cool because he never has to deal with the consequences. He's not gonna be the one robbing a bank or going to prison because he's the guy with the microphone telling impressionable people that committing real crimes is somehow morally justified and even admirable. When people are told that they can take whatever they want from anyone they personally disagree with or dislike, the end game will not be a better society. Instead, you'll most likely get a society where nobody is safe and nobody owns anything, including Hasan. And I doubt he would be cool with people stealing his stuff. He encourages theft because he doesn't have to deal with the consequences and even benefits from the chaos by making content about the consequences and using them as a springboard to promote commie. Promotes theft, system breaks, complains it's broken, promotes a commie to fix it. Now for those who don't know, Hasan grew up in a wealthy family. His father held a top executive position at one of Turkey's largest conglomerates. His uncle is Cenk Uygur, the founder of the Young Turks, which is how Hasan got his start in media in the first place. Nepo baby is a strong word, but I think it fits. His grandpa was a landlord who flipped real estate. The family famously bought and sold 30 houses in 2 years.
And then in 2 years, we bought and sold 30 houses. 30 houses.
Yeah, I forget that it was 30. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Here's a clip of his grandpa apparently being giddy about doubling his tenants' rent.
I wrote them a letter and said, that's it. Either you get out of the building, which is a big risk because if they get out, I'm in trouble. I'm finished. Or I'm increasing your monthly rent to that time around 6,800 or something like that, maybe almost twice as much.
So that's the family fortune Hasan was raised on. The same system he claims to hate paid for his upbringing, his education, and the connections that launched his career. In 2021, he bought a $2.7 million home in West Hollywood. He even bought a Porsche Taycan. And yet, it seems he likes to pretend to understand the working class struggle or even represent the working class people. Instead of getting a regular job, my dad gave me hundreds of thousands of dollars to go flip houses. What a relatable guy. Asmongold, who actually did grow up in a working class environment, responded. His main argument was simple: the math doesn't work.
If everybody stole from the corporations, then they wouldn't work. Like, how could you be pro-stealing? Like, if people stole from the, like, how could you run a business if people keep stealing the stuff out of the business? How is that? It's not sustainable. Like, and what happens when it gets factored into the bottom line is then that the costs get offset back onto the consumer.
That's the part Hasan glossed over. When theft increases, corporations raise prices to make up for it. The cost gets passed straight to the regular people actually paying for their groceries. Asmongold also pointed out something that Hasan apparently never thought about in the interview, and that is food banks already exist for people who genuinely can't afford food.
And you have to keep in mind, this is very important because Hasan, as we all know, grew up as a rich boy. He did. He grew up like a rich boy, and he was, riding around on horses, playing polo. You don't understand the way that poor people get money and they eat food. There are food banks for people who don't have the income and the resources available, that they can simply get that food for free, where it's accounted for, it's subsidized, and it's paid for either by charities, churches, the state, or a combination. So when you choose to go inside of a Whole Foods and you steal something from a Whole Foods, you are foregoing the existing structural socialist design of food banks, of other forms of supplemental assistance that allow people to get food whenever they're poor.
Hasan's whole worldview seems to run on a very simple rule. Rich people are bad, except for him. Corporations are evil, except for the ones that pay him. And theft is justified, except when the target is someone he personally approves of. By his own logic, the people he's encouraging to steal should be able to steal from him too, because he's a rich person. And to clarify to my YouTube overlords watching, I do not condone stealing, theft, or any crimes, not even against Hasan. I'm only making a point. Once you normalize lawlessness, there's no easy way to put it back in the box. Hasan is not gonna be the one in handcuffs, but the people who listen to him and end up getting their hands dirty are the ones who will pay the price and may end up arrested for shoplifting. And then he'll be on stream the next day complaining about how broken everything is. Anyway, that's the Hasan and New York Times situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe, or Hasan will take your groceries. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.